Are you interested in the realm of higher guides, higher self, connecting to the divine? Whether you're into religion or spirituality or what you may be in, these are three shocking truths that nobody has ever told you, and I highly doubt you've ever heard these anywhere else. These were things revealed to me through my journey connecting to the higher self, through meditation, through many other methods that I'll describe in this video. So you want to make sure you stay right to the end. With that being said, let's get right into it. Number one, your higher guides or higher self is always listening. You may have heard on YouTube about meditations you could do, guided meditations, nature walks, many different ways, entering a trance, for example, many different ways of connecting to the higher self. But I'm here to tell you they're always listening, and they've intervened in my life many times when I wasn't making these connections at all. You can think of your higher guides this way: they live in the fifth dimension, beyond the fourth dimension where our minds reside. Our minds are not up here. This is just simply a radio receiver, transmitter that can send and receive information based on the level of vibration. Now, if you wanted to make this connection, for example, you would have to elevate, you would have to raise your vibration to a certain level. And in doing that, you calibrate to their vibration. But you can think of it sort of like a telephone wire, and they're just waiting for the next strong signal from you. So, doing any sort of high vibe activity, whether you are immersing yourself in nature or entering a trance state or going through your meditation process, there are many ways to connect. And you don't always have to have the intention to connect with the higher self. You simply need to be open to the idea of receiving intuitive thoughts, working on that heart mind connection in whichever way you desire, and you will still be getting these messages. And so they are always listening. And remember, these are fifth dimensional beings. They don't use all their consciousness to connect with us like how we do with them. They are, being interdimensional, beyond dimensions. They have abilities that we don't have, simply. And I've got these intuitive messages as well of, asking my higher guide how much of their mind capacity, of their conscious capacity they're actually using, and it's a very small amount. It's like us, using like 2% of our brain to make this connection. So I know it's hard for us to comprehend that, but they're always listening. It's a telephone wire, it's open for any signal, so you just need to raise your vibration to a specific level and you can make that connection. If you dwell in emotions of anger, fear, anxiety, hatred, these are very low level emotions, and it's going to make it difficult to make these connections. Number two, there are almost a dozen different ways to make this connection. I've mentioned it in another video called 10 Portals to Higher Consciousness. So there's something different for everybody. You hear about mediums and psychics. You hear about intuitive readers. You hear about everyday people that have had messages come through them while they're out walking in nature. There's many different ways to make these connections. If you want to do a deep dive into this and know exactly the 10 different ways you can make these connections, I'll plug the video up here for you to go check out. But there's a misconception that you must be meditating or be in a trance state to make a connection with a higher self. You don't. You simply need to find what your ability is. Everybody has some sort of ability. It's not going to be the same. It's a sort of a signature for each person. Let's say you have psychic abilities that run in your family. Well, chances are you may also have that available to you if you tap into it. Or maybe you have a deeper sense of intuition that you've trained over years and years. That may be another way you can make this connection. Number three, they know your whole plan. They already know how it's going to work out based on the decision you already made today. Now, that's not to say you don't have free will. You absolutely do. You can make and change a decision at any time. You can change your life path at any time. You can leave the relationship you're in and start a completely different new one. They can already see the string of outcomes that will result from that path. And that's something incredibly powerful, because that means in making the connection to your higher guide, you can uncover these truths that lie ahead of you, these things based on the decisions that you made today. Us as human beings living in this reality, we can see one, two, maybe even three steps ahead, but we can't see the whole path. And I can definitely say there's great value in connecting to your higher self because you'll get great value in the clarity from just the path that you're walking on in life. How many of you are burnt out from your job and are unsure, are indecisive about what decisions you need to make next? Your higher guide can definitely help you with that. I know this connection has been incredibly valuable for me as someone who didn't previously believe too much in these divine things or spiritual connections. I now have a deeper sense of purpose, clarity in my life. I know my unique way of connecting with my higher guides, which is through nature, and I acknowledge that they're always there with me. That's kind of removed the sense of loneliness that I had. So let me know down in the comments below, how do you make connections with your higher self, or have you ever made connections with your higher self? I'd love to know. And with that being said, see you next time. Peace.